So this Karmelo Anthony situation has really caused me to be very disappointed in a lot of people. When I first started talking about it, the actual footage didn't come out. And the way I looked at it was simple. A young boy killed another boy and is now going to prison. Now, 35 years is a lot. I wish he would have gotten like 10 years because 35 years is crazy. But other than that, this is really a cut and dry situation. So I talk about it and I got all these people cussing me out in my comments. And I'm sitting there thinking like, what exactly is the problem? And my purpose of talking about this was to let young men know that if you go out here and crash out, your ass gonna be up under the jail. So don't be like Karmelo Anthony. And all I would hear in the comments is, just wait until the footage comes out. You'll see that you're wrong. He was attacked. They jumped him. They did this. They did that. And of course, the video comes out and none of that happened. Karmelo Anthony even said it himself.
Carmelo states very clearly twice, I told him not to put his hands on me.
Oh shit, that's it right there. He didn't get jumped. He put his hands on me. So now all the ignorant people that was running around saying he was trying to defend himself, he was going to get jumped, are looking dumb. You would think there's nothing else to argue about, right? Wrong. Now that they don't have a leg to stand on, they're coming at me with this, Mr. Let Go, you're not on code. And then a friend of mine said this to me too. And I'm like, what the fuck is this on code shit? And then it dawned on me, even though I'm from the hood, just like everybody else, why am I so different? It was just me and my mother. And even with that, if you know my story, at the age of 13, I told my mother, this is how things are going to go. And if there's a problem, I'm just going to move out because I started selling drugs. Because I'm selling drugs, I'm paying the rent, which was $35 a month with Section 8. And couldn't no man come over there unless I said it was okay. Because if he does, me and my homeboys will beat him up. So even though I grew up in the hood, I was never triangulated like the majority of you were. They grew up in this big old toxic family, where you as a kid didn't have the ability to have your own mind. A lot of you, maybe unbeknownst to you, grew up in a cult-like environment. I didn't deal with that because it was just me and my mom. A lot of you either experienced, witnessed, or heard about molestation in your household, or if not in your household, in the family. And what was the family rule? What happens in his house stays in his house. So I was able to say what I wanted to say, do what I wanted to do. I went outside all day long, came home when the streetlights came on. So I had full autonomy to do anything that I wanted to do. But a lot of you didn't. A lot of you grew up having to think a certain type of way, i.e. staying on code. I didn't grow up staying on no damn code. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And I did wrong, but I also did right. And this is one of the reasons why I think so objectively without having this, oh, a black boy killed a white boy. So since the boy is black, I automatically have to forget about the fact that he killed somebody and advocate for the black boy because I got to stay on code. If you kill somebody, your dumb ass is going to go to prison. I don't give a shit if it's my own kid. If you kill somebody, your ass is going to prison. And that is it. Ain't no protesting, ain't no whining, ain't no nothing. I ain't even going to cry because I'm going to be like, I didn't raise you to be running around killing people. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I think this is one of the reasons why so many people are fucked up in the head because they literally cannot think for themselves. Every time something comes up, they have to refer to what other people are saying for them to actually think a certain kind of way. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I think for myself. And it's because I did not grow up under a cult. So I want to thank my mother for never triangulating me, never gaslighting me, never making me think a certain type of way in order to fit a narrative, for giving me full autonomy to think how I want to think. A lot of you grew up in households or families where you literally had to sit across the table with a man that M-worded you, your sister, or somebody close to you, and you had to eat Thanksgiving dinner with them because the most famous stay on code tropes is what happens in his house stays in his house. And because of this idiotic staying on code mess, a lot of y'all had to deal with so much trauma stuck in your face and you can't do a thing about it because your cult leader told you not to say anything. You couldn't tell a teacher. You couldn't tell a neighbor. You couldn't tell a police officer. You had to swallow that shit. And now you're an adult. And as an adult, you still don't have your own mindset. You still don't have your own voice. You still don't have your own thoughts. Your brain is literally trained to see what everybody else is thinking and look at the actual narrative and go with that narrative instead of your own fucking thoughts. I had a lot of close friends growing up. Virtually everybody had a family, cousins, aunties, grandma house. But the one thing that I seen in every last one of their families was significant trauma, abuse, neglect, rumors of molestation. And speaking of Carmelo Anthony, one of my friends ended up on drugs because his favorite uncle got stabbed in the back right in front of him by his girlfriend. I didn't see none of that because it was just me and my mom. He was so depressed as a kid, that shit drove him to doing drugs. I remember growing up and one of my best friends was a kingpin and he had this big family that loved him. But when he got out, that same loving family of his just sat there waiting for him to go back to selling dope so he can go back to paying everybody's bills. So because of his big family, he felt a lot of pressure to go back to selling dope. And guess what? Within 2 years of him being free, he ended up getting killed because he went back to selling dope. And even though I'm not blaming his family, he himself as a kingpin did not have his own mind, partly because of his family. I grew up so jealous that I didn't have cousins to help me fight at school and uncle to teach me how to get girls. I had to learn everything by myself. And I was jealous because everybody had somebody. I had to fight by myself. I had to learn by myself. I had to figure everything out by myself. But because of that, I didn't witness or inherit anybody else's trauma. Did I have my own trauma? Yeah. Because my mom used to get her ass beat by different dudes. Hence the reason why I started beating up her boyfriends when I got old enough. But I took care of that trauma. I avenged that trauma. She's getting her ass beat by this guy, and then you get old enough and these dudes are still around and you're able to avenge your mother by putting your hands on them the same way they put their hands on your mama. So I grew up in a hood with a lot of chaos and trauma just like you. But because I didn't have a big family, I was able to see other people's families and how dysfunctional they were and how cult-like they were. And because of that, I never have and I never will feel compelled to stay on code because that shit is stupid. So if you ever look at my content and say, yo, why does Mr. Let Go think so differently? The number one reason is I didn't grow up in a cult and I'm free to think the way I want to think. And I'm proud of that. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Justin, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.